Everybody, it's Anthony Brogdon, and man, I'm excited about today's show. Ooh, I got a lady on the channel. Not just is she good looking, but she is compassionate, and she a nice person. Let me tell you what happened was she's in that famed, that noted, that all black town, 1887, Mound Bayou, Mississippi. I was in Mound Bayou. I was speaking there for Founders Day. There was a church service, and during the festivities, the weekend, she was sitting back there as an usher, right? And she saw me. She said, "This guy don't look like he's from around here." So I'm sure she does this to anybody. She was like nice to me. And so she said, "Hey, young man, sit over there," and so on and so forth. And I did what she told me to do with no hesitation, handed me the program, so on and so forth. Well, we got to talking, and so on, through the weekend, and she told me some very interesting stories of growing up in that town and picking cotton. Oh, and she ain't that old to where when you think of people picking cotton, they got to be like really old that, they don't do that no more. She going to tell you the story here at Strong Inspirations. So hit the subscribe button. It's free. I don't ask it don't cost you nothing. Don't ask no information. All that it does is let me know you like me, because I like you already. And so do that. Hit the like button. There is no love button. You're gonna love this a lot. I'm telling you, lady is nice for sure. And you hit the notifications bell. You get a ding, a shock, a smoke signal, something to let you know there is new content here. And I'm releasing videos every day. I'm gonna come at you stronger now. It came to me in the middle of the night. Go on and let it flow harder. And that's what I'm doing, my friends. And tell somebody about Strong Inspirations. Don't keep it to yourself. All these amazing stories that you find here, like this one, let other people know where you have learned this information. Do that, my friends. Did you see the one I did with out of Mound Bayou? I did several of them. Look for those videos. I interviewed the guy who's the executive director of that museum there, Herman Johnson, on several occasions. Look for the video out of Elaine, Arkansas, not far from Mound Bayou. I interviewed the mayor of Elaine, Arkansas. How about this one? Look for the video what I did with the white guy whose great grandfather wrote the Jim Crow laws. He wrote them, and his great descendant is saying, "Hey, I can't apologize, but I can at least show my sense of compassion." Look for that video, and there's so many others on Strong Inspirations. I got this book, everybody. Get you a copy of my book. Order it today. Black Business Book, over 200 facts. And Mound Bayou is featured in this in the chapter on Black towns. Go to businessintheblack.net to get you a book. I'm speaking around the country. I spoke, like I said, in Mound Bayou. I got Martha's Vineyards coming up. I got Atlanta. I got Washington, D.C. I got Buffalo, New York. I got London, England. I'm going across the pond. I'm sharing this. I enjoy doing it. So all that is coming up. And again, all that you can learn about on my website, businessintheblack.net, and get you a copy of the book. Now, you hear me use this term strong. Strong is my favorite word. I love the word strong. In my world, strong stands for strength, tenacity, resilience, and a sense of oneness, nobility, and grace. And that is my introduction to the strong sister on the channel today. Come on, ma'am. Introduce yourself. I'm happy you here.
My name is Eunice Sanders.
Miss Sanders,
Mound Bayou, Mississippi.
Thank you for coming on. Miss Sanders, I gotta ask you, as I do with everybody, were you born in Mound Bayou? Where were you born and raised?
I was born on a plantation in Washington County, but I moved to Mound Bayou December of 1949.
Okay, hold on. We got to go back because I'm a northern guy and I don't understand this. You were born on a plantation? I thought plantations were over.
Was what?
I thought plantations were over. How were you born on a plantation?
I was born on a plantation in 1942 in Washington County, Mississippi.
But I mean, there's no more slavery. Why do y'all call it a plantation?
That's what it was then. Now they're just farms.
Does it still have the name plantation on it?
The name is still there for history's sake, I guess, but they don't call them plantations anymore. They just say farms.
Is the house that the enslaver lived in, is it still there?
No, it's not there. It was made of lumber, so it rotted.
When you were born on the plantation, where were you born? In the back of a big house or in a little shack? What kind of house was you born in?
It was sort of a shack on the white man's plantation. I was born by a midwife.
What's a midwife?
A midwife is a woman that delivers babies. She's trained to deliver babies. You know, we didn't have a hospital to go to. So the midwife would come and deliver the babies.
Whoa, that's got to be more painful on the mom, ain't it?
Say what?
That's got to be more painful on the mother.
Yeah. Yeah, there are still midwives, you know, up-to-date midwives today, but they work out of a hospital. But back in the day, they came to your house and delivered the babies.
So from what you can imagine, you was born in your bedroom or in the living room or something like that.
Yeah, there was no living room, just bedrooms and kitchens in those days. I was born in the bedroom.
Did you have running water in your house?
No, sir. We had pumps on the outside. There was no running water, no inside toilets. No electricity.
Yeah.
We had no electricity. We had lamps.
You had a fireplace?
A fireplace in some houses. We didn't have a fireplace.
Did you have one of them big kettle stoves in the middle of the living room?
We didn't have a living room. We only had kitchen and bedrooms. We had a heater, a great big heater. We had a kitchen in one of those big stoves in the kitchen to cook on. They used the firewood that they went to the woods and cut down the trees to get the wood.
Did you have windows?
We had windows, little bitty windows.
What kind of bed did you sleep on?
What kind of bed?
Yeah, did it have a mattress?
Iron bed. The bed was made of iron. The bed was made of iron and the mattress was made of cotton. We call them ticks. They were cut in the middle and they were filled with cotton. And you had to make the cotton up, to fluff the cotton up to make the bed smooth. Yeah. There was no such thing as a mattress.
You had a pillow?
We had a pillow made with cotton, stuffed with cotton.
Yeah. Did the house get too hot in the summer?
Did it get hot? Hot wasn't the word. Hot wasn't the word for it. It was a furnace in the summer. It was so hot, we had no fans. The only fan we had was the fans we make from cutting up a box to fan with. And there were mosquitoes, of course. but there were trucks going around on the plantation spraying. In later years, we learned it was DDT they were spraying for the mosquitoes. Because some houses had screens on the windows and some didn't. You know, we didn't have to lock our doors and nothing like that. There was no stealing and robbing or nothing like that. Mm-mm. When you left your house, you just closed your door and went about your business.
How many
Came
houses?
back, everything was still in place.
How many houses was there on your
There
plantation?
what?
How many houses was on your plantation?
I really can't say, but it was quite a few. And plantation then was all I knew, so it seemed fine to me then. It did, but in 49, we left the white man's plantation and moved to Mound Bayou on the black man's plantation. Dr. T.R.M. Howard, you may have heard of him.
Yeah.
We moved on his.
I want to stay on the white man's plan. Was the white man there?
Yes.
What did you call him?
Can I say his name? His name was Mr. Neal. Mr. Neal.
Was he a nice guy?
Well, looking back now, I guess he was nice to some people. But he was nice to my grandmother reared me. My mother died when I was 11 months old. No, 15 months old. So my grandmother took us. It was 8 of us. My dad drove tractors, and on my birth certificate, it says my mother was a house girl. So that means in this day, she was, what you call it, the ones that stay at home and raise their kids.
Okay.
Uh-huh. She didn't go to the cotton fields. She stayed home. And
were you able to play with the white man's kids?
No, I didn't get that close to the white man's kids. They didn't stay that close to us.
What do you mean that close? You're on the plantation.
They lived in the big house, and the big house wasn't close to us.
What's the difference between the way you lived and slavery?
We got paid. We got paid wages. And the slavery didn't get paid anything.
And then the way he was able to treat y'all, he couldn't treat y'all like he did them.
No. And then my grandmother was a brave woman. She really was. And when I was a little girl, I used to think all black folks should be afraid of white folk.
Who told you that?
I asked my grandmother,
Who told you that?
Mama, say what?
Who told you that?
That's what we were thinking. Because of the way some white folks treated black folk. And I was thinking that black folks should be afraid of white folk. But my grandmother was not afraid of white folk. So one day I asked my grandmother, I say, Mama, why aren't you afraid of that white man? And she told me, never fear a man that can take a life and can't give one. So in later years, I learned what that was. Fear nobody but God. Because he's the only man that can take a life and give a life.
How did you play?
How did I play?
How did you play?
I had brothers. There were 8 of us. There were 2 girls and 6 boys, and I played with my brothers. That's how I became a tomboy.
Hopscotch, football, basketball.
It wasn't no football and basketball back then at first. We played under the house. We played store. The house had tall blocks, We could almost walk under the house. And on the joists under the house, we used to use that for our shelves for the store. And we would take empty cans and put on the shelves. We would make mud cakes and cookies and put in our store. We would shoot marbles. Of course, girls weren't allowed to shoot marbles, but I learned to shoot better than my brothers. And when I won there,
why y'all couldn't shoot marbles?
Girls couldn't shoot marbles. The old folks say girls wasn't supposed to whistle and they were not supposed to shoot marbles. So I had to slip and shoot marbles with my brothers and the other boys on the plantation.
Did you have to wear a dress every day?
No, I wore pants. I wore pants. I couldn't stand dresses. Dresses were too girly for me. I wanted pants like my brothers. The other girls wore skirts and dresses, but I wore pants. But our pants were made different from the boys' pants. Our pants had one pocket in the back, and the boys' pants had two pockets in the back. Our pants were zipped on the side, and the boys' pants were zipped in the front. I couldn't stand it. So I asked my brothers to let me wear their pants, and they would.
How did you get a whooping?
How did I get a whooping?
Yeah.
By doing things I had no business doing. By fighting.
Hold on, let's stop right there. You used to fight?
I used to fight the boys. Girls was too soft. Girls was too soft for me to fight. I had to fight somebody hard. Girls cried too easily. So I used to get into it with the boys. When we played ball, we had a sock ball. We had no rubber ball at all. We made our balls out of socks. And of course, when you knocked the ball in the ditch, it would get wet. So we had to make another ball from another sock.
What are y'all doing? Kicking it like soccer, you said, right?
No. Like baseball.
Okay.
Uh-huh. But we couldn't play ball on a Sunday. We could not play ball on a Sunday.
You had to go to church?
Yeah. If we didn't go to church, we still couldn't play ball. There were some people, we call them sanctified folks, that lived down behind us. And the cotton was real high between our houses. And you couldn't see one house from the other one. So we would slip and play ball on a Sunday. And when one get mad, she'll run home and tell her daddy, he was a preacher, that we were down there playing ball, and he'll come to the back door and call his children to come home. And that'll break the game up.
I'm going to go back to the whooping. Did she whoop you with a switch?
Yeah. I didn't get too many whippings, though. I wasn't that bad. I didn't get too many whippings.
Yeah.
Because I always found something to do. I always liked to work with my hands. You know, when she had her garden, she'll give me one row. And I would plant everything I could plant on that one row. And I would tell myself, when I get grown, I'm going to have me a garden.
When you say plant, that's tomatoes? What is that you plant?
Peas and okra and tomatoes and greens and butter beans. I planted all that on my one row. You know why? My grandma had the big garden.
What did y'all have chickens and animals on your property?
Yeah. We had a cow, we had ducks, we had geese, and we had chickens and hogs. Yeah.
Did you have to share them with other people the other black people on the plantation, or they were yours?
Well, no, they were ours. But when we got ready to kill in the winter, You know, everybody would come and help this person. They'd get a piece of meat, liver or something. Then the next week when somebody else get ready to kill their hogs, then they'll go help them. That's how they did it. Yeah.
How
But
many people?
it still was a fun time for me because I love being outdoors.
How many people can let's say a hog feed?
Well, a hog
That
can feed,
yeah.
one hog can feed a big family, but you know, you don't eat it all at once. You gotta salt it down and put it in the smokehouse and let it smoke. You gotta clean the chitlins, and sometimes you can the chitlins, and you gotta make the cracklings. You ate everything but the oink from the hog.
The feet, everything.
The feet, the ears, the head. We
Ooh.
couldn't catch the oink, so we couldn't eat the oink, but everything else was eaten.
What is the oink?
Oink, oink, oink.
That's the pig.
Yeah. The oink is the sound that they make.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, that's funny. I got you.
Yeah.
So you ate everything on the pig.
Everything.
How did they
Nothing went
cook
to waste.
How did they cook it?
We even took the hoofs off the feet and made a tea. And the tea was for chicken pox. If you had chicken pox or the measles, you drink hoof tea.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you eat pig today or you just had enough?
No, I stopped eating pig in 1977.
Did you ever kill the animal?
Oh, I didn't kill it. I've seen them killed, but I never killed one.
So you've never wrung a chicken's neck?
Oh, we wrung the chicken neck, but I never. Oh yeah, I've cut the chicken's heads off, but killing pigs or something like that, the hog. Sometimes we would kill maybe in a day. We would kill maybe 10 or 15 hogs.
How they kill it?
Say what?
How do they kill it?
Shoot them and then cut the throat to let them bleed out. Shoot them in the head and then
Did that
cut the
make you
throat.
cry seeing them die like that? Because you might have got kind of close to these hogs, didn't you? Like one of them was your
Yeah,
pet?
I cried. And then when I got older, I would ask them to let me leave before they kill it because I didn't want to see them kill it. Then after I got married, I raised my own hogs. They were cute.
So in your house, was the floor, did it have a rug on it or just the wood?
No,
You had
sir,
to,
we wish, nuh-uh. We had no rug. And then sometime my grandma would get a linoleum rug and put in one room. But the other room just had the wood.
well, you had to watch out because you was walking almost barefoot sometime about the splinters, right?
Oh, yes, indeed. Because a lot of times we went barefoot. Sometimes we went barefoot because we wanted to, and sometimes we went barefoot because we had to.
No shoes.
No shoes.
When you had no shoes, you had to go to school like that with no shoes?
No, we didn't go to school. I'm talking about in the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah. That's when I was a girl.
This is good stuff. How you walk around with no shoes outside? You always
Easy.
look. Aren't you looking down to see that you don't step on something all the time?
No, because that was a way of life. We don't have time to look down and see whether we're walking on something or not. We just walk.
You ever cut your feet?
Oh yeah. And then my grandma used to put coal oil on it. Kerosene. You cut your feet, you put kerosene on your feet, you take a rag and you tie it up real tight and wait for it to heal.
What about, were you able to date boys?
When I got to be a teenager, I couldn't stand boys. I had this big brother named Ed. He played football, and everybody was, you know, he never played. He didn't smile too much, and boys were afraid of him, really, because he was a big quarterback on the football team, and so didn't too many boys talk to me because they were afraid of my brother. But anyway, on through the years, I told you we moved to Dr. Howard's plantation. So when Dr. Howard left and went to Chicago, Mr. Daniel bought the plantation. So when Mr. Daniel got through with the plantation, he had too much land. Mr. Sanders got the plantation, my father-in-law. And he had a son.
Now, this is not in Mound Bayou. This is still...
No, this is in Mound Bayou now. We left in 49 from the white man's plantation and came to Mound Bayou to the black man's plantation.
Hold on.
And it was a plantation because he had mules and cows, and we lived by the pasture. We had to pump water for the mules. And when I tell you a mule doesn't have enough sense to know when he get enough water, he doesn't. We pumped that pump until it just sweated. And that mule was still drinking, okay?
Now hold on, let's go back. What was the name of the town that the white man owned?
Heads, Mississippi. Heads, Heads, Mississippi.
How far was that from Mound Bayou?
With the white man?
Yeah.
No, the white man was not in Mound Bayou. He was.
I said, how far was it? How far away was it?
From Mound Bayou to Heads, it's about 30 miles, 35 miles.
I got a couple more on this. Have you ever been called a nigger?
Not by a white man. You know, in just speaking,
yeah.
You know, like some black, oh, nigga, what you talking about? You know, like that, but just call a nigger? No.
Yeah.
My daughter was called a nigger when she went to college, and she had never heard of that word before because she was raised in Mound Bayou. When she went to college, this predominantly white college, this girl called her a nigger. I didn't know why she wanted to transfer second semester to Delta State. She didn't tell me. She just said, Mom, I want to go to Delta State. It was after she finished school, she told me what happened.
Nigger is the worst word a white person can call a black person. That's the question.
You asked me that. Well, it's degrading. And that's why they do it. But I had an Uncle Walter. He told me one day, my nickname is Sister. He said, Sister, a white man told me that a nigger can be meaner to another nigger than a white man could ever be. That's how the white man phrased it, you know. A nigger can be meaner to another nigger than any white man could ever be. And that was way back in the day when he told him that.
What did y'all call white people?
Peckerwoods. rednecks, mostly peckerwoods and rednecks.
Did you ever have a fight with a white girl?
Oh no, I didn't get near no white girls until I went to nursing school.
Yeah, because you lived in Mound Bayou.
I lived in Mound Bayou.
Was moving to Mound Bayou moving to the big city?
Yeah, it really was like moving to New York. I loved Mound Bayou. I still love. I would always love Mound Bayou. I got roots in Mound Bayou.
You told me that you used to pick cotton. When did you pick cotton?
I started picking cotton when I was like 8 years old. But I enjoyed it because I like being outside. Yeah. People thought I was crazy. I like to pick cotton. I like to chop cotton because I like to make the stalks look pretty on my row. And other people would half chop, leave grass. And I said, you leaving that grass? They say, come on here, girl. And I try to get all of my grass off the road to make my road look pretty.
When do people plant cotton? How long does it take for cotton to grow?
Well, they plant cotton. They start planting cotton like in April and May, and they start picking in September.
Do you have some? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We used to have to pick cotton. We'll go to school and register the first day. School always started the day after Labor Day. We would go to school and register and get our books, the books that we could get. The books was handed over to our school from the white school, already had names in it and everything. And then we go back to the cotton field and pick cotton until it rained. If it rained, then we could go to school. But if it didn't rain, we had to go to the cotton field instead of going to school. So we could make money to buy clothes to wear to school.
Where was the cotton field at that you picked the cotton on?
All around my house and all out in the country and all out from Marigold and Mound Bayou and everywhere. We used to get on all in Sunflower County. We used to go uptown and get on the trucks and go out to the cotton fields. Yeah.
Do you have any cotton there that you can show us how you pick it?
Yeah, I got a stalk here that I didn't put back up.
Let me see that. Yeah, for those who don't know, like myself, how do you do?
This is cotton. You take your hand and you fit it in here. You see how it look like it just made for your hand.
Right.
And you pull it out. And when you get a handful, you put it in your sack. And then you start all over again. I used to pick sometimes 300 pounds of this stuff.
That's a lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you were good at it.
Oh, yeah. I'm good at most things I do.
Did your back hurt? Did you?
No, my back never hurt.
You got to bend over, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Bend over, get on your knees.
And then what was the sack made out of that you put the cotton in?
Denim. Denim. It was made out of denim, hard denim. It had a bottom with tar. The part
so that sack
you dragged
had
on
to
the
be
ground
heavy
so
itself.
it won't get. Say what?
The sack was heavy itself.
Yeah, it was kind of heavy. It had a 9 foot and a 7.5 foot. Most of the children would get the 7.5. The grown folks would get to 9 feet.
How many pounds, for the most part, is a sack of cotton? And how much do you get for one sack of cotton?
A sack of cotton, if you pack it right, can hold from 80 to 100 pounds. And you get like 250, 100.
You get like how much?
$2.50, 100.
$2.50 for 100 pounds of cotton.
Uh-huh.
Is that a lot of money?
No. But that was the way of life then. But let me tell you, let me finish telling you this. I told you we moved on Dr. Howard's plantation. Then after Dr. Howard left and went to Chicago, Isaac Daniel bought the plantation. It wasn't a plantation anymore then, it just was a farm. So after Mr. Daniel, I guess he had too much land, my father-in-law bought it. So I'm still living in the house, right? And he had a son, some sons, he had a son, a couple of years older than me. So one thing led to another one, and we got married. So here I am marrying this boy from the farm.
How old are you? Can I ask?
I'm 83.
I'm not talking about now, then.
I was, when I met this boy.
Yeah, not when you got married.
Well, I got married when I was 20.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. Yep. I got married when I was 20 from the boy on the farm, and then I started, well, I still pick cotton and chop cotton, but then my father-in-law would have me to help pay the people off at the end of the day. Yeah.
That leads to this question. Back in those days, there were girls that got married at 13.
Yeah.
How can a woman know how to even care for a guy at the age of 13?
I don't know, but one of my classmates got married at that age. We were in the 6th grade together, and when 7th grade came around, you know, we didn't see her anymore. And she had gotten married. She surely had.
I mean, you don't even know nothing about love. You don't know nothing, I'm thinking.
Well, some people get married to get out the house, to get out their mama's and daddy's house at that age. But Tina Turner said, what's love got to do with it?
Ain't that something? So when you pick the cotton, you put it in the thing. Do you get eaten by the mosquitoes? You got to watch for the snakes, whatever.
All of that, all of the above. Mosquitoes, snakes, worms. Then sometimes we had to eat our lunch sitting on our sack because we didn't have that much time. You know, we had like 30 minutes, an hour at the most.
So, but the picking of the cotton went from what month to what month?
It went from September to January. After Christmas, cotton still be in the field. And on good days, you go pick the cotton. Yep.
The one thing about picking cotton is, don't it hurt your fingers? Don't you get stuck by the thorns in the cotton?
Yes. On the cotton, here.
Yeah.
This will eat up your cuticles. And then when we got to be teenagers going out, and your cuticles be so bad, when you go out, you just put your hand under the table so can't nobody see it. But now I guess you will have to have I don't know what you have to have now for these women to pick cotton with all these fingernails.
Well, I thought picking cotton had gone by the wayside because they had machines to do it. Don't they got machines to do cotton?
Oh now? Yeah, it's gone by the wayside. I'm talking about back yonder right now.
I know, yeah. But then when did and the machine is the cotton gin, is that right?
Say what?
What's the machine that picked the cotton? Is that the cotton gin?
The cotton picker.
That's what they call it.
The cotton picker picks the cotton, but now they have gotten so modernized until you have to have thousands of acres of cotton land to grow cotton, because you got to have this special machine. When the cotton come out of the machine, it's already baled up in a ball. Okay. Whereas you used to have to take it to the gin, and they had a sucker to suck it off the thing and make a bale out of it. But now it's already baled up.
When you pick cotton, you took it to the cotton gin. Y'all used to walk down there to the cotton gin.
No. They put it on a trailer. They had these big trailers. They put the cotton on, and the tractor would drive it to the gin. Then they had somebody at the gin to get on the gin with this big sucker to put it on there and suck the cotton up, and it goes through the process.
Well, how did you agree to how much cotton you picked so you could get paid?
How much did I what?
No, when you pick the cotton, you got it in the sack. When do you get paid?
In the evening. Every day.
Who pays you?
The people that own the cotton.
Oh.
The people that own the cotton. And then a lot of times when we pick cotton, we had to get back on the truck. That's before I met the Sanderses. We had to get on the truck and go to a certain spot and get paid off. Most times it's at a store.
When did they weigh
pay us off at the store so we can spend our money that we done worked hard for that day?
When do they weigh it?
They weigh it when you bring it up to the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had scales.
That's what I'm getting at. What did you pick every day, or did you have Saturday?
Every day that it didn't rain, we picked cotton. From September to after Christmas.
What time did you have to get up to go pick the cotton? What time could you go to bed?
As soon as I got home and took a bath and had something to eat, because I had to get back up early the next day. Yeah.
Did you know how Black people was living up north? And
no, I didn't, but I knew it had to be different, because when down here then, like I finished school in 62, when kids finished school, most of them went to Chicago or Detroit or Springfield or St. Louis. But they were getting from down here from the cotton field. A whole lot of kids did not go to college back then. They went to get a job. Most of my classmates went to get a job. Some went to college, but most of them went to get a job. I got some classmates that are millionaires that lives in Michigan. Milwaukee.
But do you wish your family had lived differently then? That they had moved away from Mississippi when you was young and came north?
No, I never thought about that. My brothers went north, time they got finished. Everybody went but me. I was the only one staying in the Delta. And now in the summer, they can say I'm going home because they can come to my house.
You've seen a whole change in life. You've seen where you didn't have electricity, you got electricity, you got a beautiful home now. How does that make you feel to see the change from where you've come to where you are now?
I really don't think about it a lot. It's just times, I guess. I really don't think about it. Sometimes I think about the times when we didn't have water in the house. We had that old rusted pump. We had to drink that pump water with, you could see the rust in it, but that's all we had to drink. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. I really don't. A lot of people that had back then, they are not here anymore. And I'm thinking about all those white people that did the black people so wrong to make money. And they left everything they had to their children and their grandchildren. And they just, if you don't work for nothing, it doesn't mean too much to you. So I see these kids just, it doesn't mean nothing to them. They folks and left them thousands and millions of dollars because they didn't have to work for it. So they just take it and throw it away. They gamble it and go to the casino and drug it out and everything else. But if you work for something, is worth something to you.
Yeah. You said they mistreated black people. In your time, what was the mistreatment?
Working them and beating them. It was some white plantation owners down here that used to beat black people. He had a barn, he'd take them in and beat them, and had another black man holding the man for him to beat.
And this is in the 40s, the 50s.
This was in the 50s. This was in the 50s. This was right there in Marigold.
And now that's like slavery, ain't it?
Yeah, somewhat. I talked to an old man. He had gone to, I think, Detroit. He worked for GM for years. He said when he was 14 years old, he saw a white man kick a black man. And he went home and told his mama. He said, "Mama, I saw a white man kick a black man today, and the black man didn't do nothing. But if he had kicked me, I would have killed him." So his mother packed him up and sent him north. And he didn't come back till he was an old man. Yeah.
Did you enjoy going to church?
Do I?
Did you back then? And did you have to stay all day and all that kind of stuff?
I didn't go to church a lot back then because I didn't have the proper clothes to wear. I didn't. And I don't want to sit there and look odd from the other kids. My mother was AME, and everybody else was Baptist. So I don't know why she just didn't insist that we go to church every Sunday. But she didn't. She taught us, but, I went to church sometimes, but I felt like I wasn't dressed properly. When people look at you like, so they kept me out of church a lot. It wasn't until I got grown, buying my own clothes, that I went to church.
I hope you don't mind I ask this question. How poor were y'all?
We were so poor until we didn't know we were poor because everybody around us was poor. A lot of times we didn't have food to eat. But there was a thing called commodities that the government gave the people. Cheese and canned meats and powdered eggs and milk. They gave us beans and rice. Had it not been for that, we may have starved to death. That's what I tell myself all the time. If it wasn't for commodities, we probably would have starved to death. And I used to say all the time, I would have been an A student if I had had the proper food to eat, but I didn't. And then there was no free lunch. You know, I could eat good up until the cotton was over with. But there was January, February, March. Sometimes my classmates would, you know, share their food with me. And a lot of times I came home and there was nothing done because my grandma didn't have nothing to cook.
When you know, of the things that they gave you, how did you eat the stuff? I mean, you know how I guess I'm looking at. Is there some kind of way she cooked it and made it like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? You know, say, oh man, that was pretty good. That was my favorite. Was any of that stuff the commodities became your favorite to eat?
Peanut butter and the beef in the can, beef and pork in the can, it was my favorite. You could take the beef or the pork in the can and put it over rice because it had gravy to it. And we used to eat the peanut butter from the can. Right now, I eat peanut butter from the jar. I like peanut butter. But the main thing was we were eating to survive, really. You know, we raised gardens and we canned stuff. We didn't have a deep freeze, of course. Nobody had a deep freeze. We canned, we raised, and we dried stuff. That's how we ate. But see, in March, you got a thing called furnish. The plantation, the farmer owner would give you a furnish March, April, and May. And then June, that's when you start chopping cotton so you could make money.
Oh, okay. Explain that. He gave you a furnish. What does that mean?
That means he gave you a certain amount of money every month to go buy food. And at the end of the year, when the settlement time came, these are sharecroppers. We were sharecroppers then. When the settlement time came to settle, because a sharecropper pays for half of everything. Share. They're supposed to share everything. Pay for half the seeds and the fertilizer and the plowing and all that stuff. And when December comes, before Christmas, that's when he was settled. Where my family was large. At one time, it was 14 of us. And they used to pick, I was too small then, but they used to pick a bale of cotton a day. And my grandmother would make like $5,000 in December. But one day, they thought they heard the dinner bell. This when we still was in Washington County, right?
Okay.
They thought they heard the dinner bell, so they stopped for dinner. The white man came by to see why had they stopped. They said they thought they heard the dinner bell. But the dinner bell had not rung. It was not 12 o'clock. There was a bell in town that used to ring every day at 12 o'clock. And people knew to stop. So he told Mrs. Woods, which was my grandmother, he said, your children stopped before the dinner bell, but that's okay. I will see you in the fall. So after then is when my grandmother started going to Mound Bayou. I didn't know why she was going to Mound Bayou. I was 8 years old. So like I said, she used to make like $4,000 and $5,000 in December. But this particular year, he gave her $800. So she had already been coming to Mound Bayou, talking to Dr. T.R.M. Howard. And he had told her that if she needed a house, he could give her a house to move in. And that's what happened. And he told her, when he realized this white man, Mr. Neal, that she was going to move, he told her she was not going to move. And she told him nobody had ever moved off his plantation. She told him she was going to move. And she was not afraid to tell him she was going to move. So Dr. Howard sent the trucks down there for her to put her stuff on. And he told her, you're going to leave the cow where she is. And my auntie asked him, well, how much is the cow? And he told her whatever it was. And she looked in her pocket and gave him the money for the cow. And that's when we left and moved to Mound Bayou. And that was December 49. And she was the first person ever to move off this white man's plantation. And people were afraid of her, you know, moving, thinking he gonna do something to her. But anyway, he didn't. But my uncle was what you call a straw boss for this man. And he used to come to the house every Sunday and tell my grandmama, Mr. Neal said, if you come back, he'll build you a new house. And she said, I don't want a new house. I'm not going back.
Now, hold on. What's a straw boss? What does that mean?
Straw boss is one that goes around and see that everything is going smooth. See that people are working and they're doing what they're supposed to do and they got things that they need to do it with. And he give them a truck to ride around in. You know, to make them think they're somebody.
Was he a light-skinned guy?
He was brown skinned.
So that light dark skin ain't got nothing to do with that part. Then.
No, he was brown skinned, soft spoken.
So when she moved, y'all all moved together. Was y'all happy to leave, or was you crying, I don't want to go, or how did
No, that? Lord, we were happy to leave. We were happy to leave because we heard we were going somewhere where there were Black people, all Black people. And that's what happened. We moved to Mound Bayou.
And how old was she? How old were you when she passed? And how did that go? She was your rock. She kept you together.
Yes, she did. I was 8 when we moved to Mound Bayou in the 2nd grade. We went to church down there. In church on Sunday, and through the week, it was a school. And of course, there was a heater sitting in the middle of it. So my grandmother was born in 1880. And she died December of 1972.
That's what, 80, almost 90 years.
A long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you tell this story, what are you telling people? You telling people to understand how far we've come, how Black people should appreciate what we have?
Yes. When I tell it, my kids want me to write a book. And I tell them, you know, sometimes I be telling them stuff. They say, Mama, you gonna put that in the book? I say, yeah, I'm gonna put that in the book. We have come a long way, but what I cannot understand is, why are we so mean to each other? I never can understand that. So many that I've lived with and went to school with and worked with, you know, they're gone. Sometimes I be thinking about stuff and want to ask a question, but that person is already dead. Like the other day, I was trying to think of this man's name, but I couldn't think of his name. And then the person that would know his name is already dead. So we've come a long way. I'm so grateful to have come this far, you know, to see my kids, my grandkids, and great-grandkids. You know, sometimes I think about my husband, which he died in 1976. what would it have been like had he lived to see all of his kids and grandkids and great grandkids, you know?
He died young.
He died young. He was 36. I was 34.
How did he deal with the racism? Well,
I
he didn't
mean,
have it in Mound Bayou, so yeah.
No, see, the people in Mound Bayou didn't have to deal with it. They didn't have to deal with it. And then when he did come across it, you know, it just, the thing about it, nobody said nothing to him. Like nobody said nothing to me.
I want two more questions. Are you a country girl?
Am I what?
A country girl.
Does pig eat slop?
All right, one more. Would the big city intimidate you? Could you survive in New York and Detroit and Chicago and the big cities with all of the hustle and bustle and whatever?
You know what? I think I could live anywhere. I could live anywhere in the United States. I really could. I could fit me anywhere. I could fit in anywhere. I don't meet no strangers. I don't.
Leads to one more. You're proud of yourself.
Oh yeah.
You raised the family. You went to college, right? You went to nursing, some school, right?
Well, I started nursing school, but we had gone over into the hospital coming up to Christmas, and I needed surgery. So I decided to have surgery during our Christmas break. And it was in 1972. And my grandmother was in the hospital during that same time. We were in Taborian Hospital together. My grandmother, I got discharged, my grandmother died. So with me having surgery and not being able to rest like I should have, I just kept going. We had 2 weeks out for Christmas. I went back to nursing school that January. I couldn't make it. I was just too hurting too bad. And then one of my instructors just hated my guts. The other one didn't. And she told me, she said, you cannot take 2 weeks because you've already started over in the hospital. You will have to drop out. So that's what I had to do. I had to drop out of nursing school. But then I tried to get in other nursing schools, and I don't know what happened. I just couldn't, they just wouldn't accept me. And I just always did believe that those instructors, you know, sent ahead, you know, don't look out for Eunice Sanders. But anyway, that's what happened. But I went on to Kahoma, and I finished Kahoma, you know, in later years. I finished Kahoma in 87. Then I enrolled in Delta State. I finished Delta State in 89.
You got your bachelor's degree
in criminal justice, yeah.
You went from a one-room school that you couldn't go to and finish college.
Yeah. And all of my children, my 7 children. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I wanted to go to Valley State after I finished Kahoma. I was just thirsty for more. And I was talking to my daughter. I said, I went to Valley to register. And this woman talked to me so mean and so rough, as, you know, she may as well have said, what in the world at your age are you doing trying to register to go to college? She hurt my feelings, so I cried all the way home.
Black woman, white woman?
She was Black. I later learned that she lost her job for whatever reason, I don't know. But anyway, I was telling my daughter, I said, I wish I could go to Delta State. I could just drive down there every day. She said, Mama, you can do it. I said, Delta State? She said, yeah, you told us we could do it. Now I'm telling you, you can do it. I said, okay. I went down to Delta State. I got registered. That was in August of 87. And I finished Delta State December of 89. And I marched because they didn't have fall graduation. I had to wait until May 6th, 90 is when I marched across that stage, along with my daughter and my son-in-law.
Oh my God. I gotta ask you this. Did you ever dance? Did you dance when you were growing up? Did you go to the juke joint? Did you party? Did you drink?
No, I never drank. I couldn't dance too good. My husband was such a good dancer until I just mostly watched him dance. I learned how to do the cha-cha and the mashed potatoes and to swing and slow drag. But I didn't do it a lot.
Now thank you for coming on the show. No, I got to do this. Is there a question? Is there something you want to say? A question that I have not asked you, anything you want to say? I think we kind of got what we talked about that day. But
anyway, I have lived a long, fruitful life, and I have 7 living children, and I have so many great-grands, I stopped counting them. And I'm just grateful to be here. In my living, the way I was brought up made me humble, made me grateful and thankful, and I just love senior citizens. I guess because my grandmother was old. I love senior citizens and I love children. I love people, but those are my favorites. I always have senior citizens on my agenda every day. I got some that I call to see how they're doing, see what I can do for them. I love making a garden. I love flowers. And I just love life. I really do.
One more came to mind. Is there a passage in the Bible that you live by?
A passage in the Bible that I live by? Not really. Not really.
But God has been good to you.
But love your neighbor as you love yourself.
There you go. Everybody is strong inspirations. I did my best to be respectful, understandably, but to get to the heart of the situation. This is what I do, and I'm a better person by the people that come on here. I tell you, I felt this lady's energy. She sat there, she said, young man, I know you don't, but you ain't from here. I ain't never seen you in Mound Bayou. It was my first time in Mississippi, to be honest. Sit over there. Handed me the program. I sat there straight, erect, and I kept looking back at her, though. She might not have noticed. I kept looking back, looking at this lady. And the other thing she's done, everybody, is we were talking about picking cotton, and I saw over the weekend, she sent me a basket, a box of cotton and a I don't know if you call it a poem or something, and a little wrapping of cotton. She wanted me to have that. Strong inspirations. Hit the like button on this. There is no love button. Hit the notifications bell so you get notified when there's new content. Tell somebody about us. You see what we're doing. We, me, and I, and the people behind the scenes who helped me pull this off, and the people who are in front of the camera who help tell the story. To you, I say, my sister, I appreciate you a ton, a whole ton, as many tons as tons of I can ever pick of cotton in my life and all the lives of everybody who's ever picked that much. And for you to share this, thank you so very much. And I mean this out of all sincerity. I want you to stay strong, stay safe, stay on your grind, keep doing this. I tell you what, between you and I'm going to follow back up with you. I'm going to help you write that book.
All right. I
I'm going to help you
that.
write the book. We're going to get that word out. All right?
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Bye-bye. We out, everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.